Welcome. To download this model, click on the link in the description below. We will use 5 V-Ray lights in this scene. First, go to mediafire.com, open an account, download all these files to your computer. This is the 3ds Max model, and the rest are just the material maps. When you're ready, open the 3ds file. Make sure you link the files to the model. Now, the first thing I want to show you is the render setup. Select the V-Ray renderer, but to speed your render, you can use V-Ray RT. All the settings in the setup are at default. GI is on, and brute force is the best and most accurate for detail. Close this page and let's see the material editor. I have used basic V-Ray materials in the scene, so you can feel free to add your own if you notice that some are missing here. Also, let's review the layers page. Notice that some objects here have the freeze turned on. Since we're not going to be moving any of the props, you may as well leave them as they are here. Okay, let's start by adding a camera. Place the camera in the middle of the room and raise it to about 5 feet high, and then point the camera to the desk area. Set the camera parameters as you see it here. Use a 35mm preset, an aperture of 8.0. Shutter speed, do it in seconds, and the duration should be 100. Turn on the exposure gain to manual and type 100 for the ISO. Now, change your perspective view to physical camera 1 here. On the render setup, lock the view to camera 1. Okay, now let's add some light. Use the plane type of V-Ray light. Place the light in the center, like so. Raise it up a little and render. You should see something like this. So that's okay for a start. Remove the light again and let's add an IES V-Ray light. Move the camera to get a closer view of the desk area. Place the IES V-Ray light in the lampshade and aim it so it lights up the top of the desk. This is, of course, just a default IES light. Let's render to see the results. Now, let's replace that default light with data from a real IES light. We will use this type of light bulb, and you can download it from here if you wish to do it, but it's already on the files. Select the source of the light, and on the parameters, click on None here. Then select the light you downloaded from Mediafire. And now with the actual light data, render again to see the difference. You can do it side by side this way. So the light here is dimmer, but it's realistic. So now rather than changing the light bulb, we will adjust the camera parameters. That's actually the way I would prefer to do it anyway. Open the aperture to 2.8. That's as if your eyes were getting used to the light. Make the duration 1/40th of a second and render. Okay, so now we can add some more light in these areas with an ambient light. Place a V-Ray ambient light in the middle of the room and then render again. This is the default light. Adjust the intensity to 0.16 and enter 10 for the GI minimum distance. You can adjust the color to a darker shade, and maybe even, since it's an indoor, maybe make it a little warm color. Then render again to see the results. Now, to give more contrast to the objects here, as you can see, everything seems to be kind of flat. Check the compensate exposure button. This will help with the distribution of light, and you will see more light and dark colors everywhere. Notice how flat these colors are. So render again to see the difference with the compensation. And so you begin to see some lighter and darker areas that make better contrast. Now let's move the camera a little closer to the desk. Since we only have one light, then it's much better if you render at a closer view. So the light here looks more acceptable. Now the quality of your render depends on how long you render and other parameters, and also how you use your camera, you know. So you can make the adjustments as you go along. It is pretty normal to get some noise on the image due to the low light we're using. You can increase the time to render here. 0 means it will render until the maximum subdivision level is reached. Like this 100 here, you can raise that number. Now you can adjust the camera a little bit more to get a better exposure. I will make these changes here and see what I get. Maybe I'll raise the sensitivity of the film a little bit. We'll see what the difference is. But doing this, there's always a chance that you will overexpose the image. So if you check this, look at the lamp here, and if you check this button here, you can see that spot showing up. That means the light at the lamp is overexposed. This can be adjusted, but a better way will be to use the exponential type on your color mapping. This will help with all the overexposed areas all around the image. Let's move to the bedroom area. We will add a disc type V-ray light to this lamp. Place it under the lamp cavity and size it so it fits just about inside, and render. So it looks like it's an LED, you know, probably looks fairly okay, but since bedrooms are kind of warm places, I would like to change the temperature in the light parameters. If you lower this value here, you'll get a warmer light. Increase the multiplier to compensate for the warm color. So now we're looking more like a bedroom color. Also, make the light beam more direct by raising the directional value. So notice how the shadows are sharper and the light is also stronger. All right. Now, there's an iPhone or a cell phone right next to the pillow here. And on top of it, I have a screen. It's just a plane like that. And we're going to light it up. So let's add a light material to that plane. And the V-ray lights, place the V-ray light material onto the editor. Double click it and adjust the parameters. The color should be just white, or if you want, you can add a little bit of, you know, purplish or bluish color to the. Change the number 1 here of the power to 0.3. Then you can apply this to the plane and render. So you can see that's the effect of a self-illuminated screen on a phone. So we can imagine that the phone is charging now. So now let's add an environment map. On your keyboard, press 8 to bring it up. And make sure that this shows none. You can use any street lights from the internet and place it in the material editor. Then drag and drop into the environment tab. And let's render now. So now you have some light outside the house. All right. You can play with different types of images there. Now let's add a street light, something that's close to the home and it's lighting up into the window. So place the light here and turn it and aim it towards the window of the house. And then make the adjustments necessary so you can get the effect you want. This is how you compose an image, an interior image, by using the lights just as simple as they are, but in the right places and at the right color and with the right intensities. Then you can make some camera adjustments and your scene will be ready. So thanks for watching. The next tutorial will use the same room, but we'll use the sunlight. See you then.